Speak up. By the legits.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you guys are. Welcome to the 8th episode of Speak Up Live Community Talk Show. Tonight we got two guests from Western and Eastern Europe, if you will. Let us know if you can hear us well, if the sound is good. Let me check. We should be live by now. There's a little delay. Let us know if you have any questions for either of the guests. Yeah, we should be live. 1 second. Let me check. Let me double check. Okay. So yeah, welcome to the 8 episodes. Before we gonna start with the guests, I have the results of the questions from last week with Felix. It was what was the first vinyl of Fusic, not the album, but the vinyl. The correct answer is On the Fly, and the winner from the last week is Mr. Charles Brown. So congrats on this fresh Legends t-shirt. I will announce the question for this episode a little bit later when we start the interview with Storm. All right. Tonight we have a little bit different. We're gonna have both guests live at the same time, as Storm, Mr. Storm, asked me to be part of the whole episode because he wants to vibe out with the live set of our music guests. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce all the way from now currently in Kiev city in Ukraine, DJ Scream, and all the way from Berlin, Germany, Mr. Legendary Storm. Welcome, guys. How's it going?
What's up, y'all?
Oh, I'm fine. Everything all right?
What's the deal? How are you guys doing?
Nice one with the tambourine.
Storm froze up a little bit. Okay.
I was just practicing, back from practicing, stretched out on the balcony.
Okay. I see that you guys are home. I mean, Storm is home. Dope. Welcome to Speak Up. It's the 8th episode. So, what about you, Scream? Where you at right now?
Stuck in Kiev after Legit's blast Prague. Arrived here and didn't came through all the borders and isolation. So basically based in Kiev, producing my music now, using my time to educate myself physically, mentally, musically, any way I can do it. A few days ago, just dropped a video from Kiev, which is really describes what's happening in my life at the moment.
Okay, so you're actually not able to go to Yalta, to your home at the moment?
Nah, actually, the main reason is like the border is closed at the moment between Crimea and Ukraine. And
Okay.
also it's not really recommended and not really safe to travel because it's around 900 kilometers far from Kiev. So me, 3 kids and my wife, the whole family, we need to rent a bus or something.
Wow.
Because trains are still doesn't work. So but we're cool, like really. I don't feel myself like
you are with family. With your family.
What was that, Storm? Yeah, he's with the family. Yeah, all 3 kids.
He's with Screams with his family. He's Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. If he wouldn't all by himself, that's a different story.
Scream, can you hear Storm?
Not really well. You can ask me again.
Yeah, no, he was just asking if you're in with your family in Kiev.
Yes. The positive thing about it is that I can like spend a lot of time with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like my daughter learns how to play piano,
Wow.
vocals, stretching. Like my kids, we usually go to like a forest which is close to my house. So actually, we're doing very well, like the family business, you know.
That's what's up. Shout out to Uzi Luke tuning in, Buddha Gurung, Sideshow Male, and the name in Russian, which I can't read. Welcome, guys. If you have any questions, let us know. What we're gonna do is like Scream's gonna talk a little bit about his music. He's gonna do a live DJ set, and he'll tell us a little bit about the Yalta Summer Jam and what's going on with the jam. Storm can vibe out, and we'll continue with the interview with Storm. So, Scream, I heard you were preparing a new album. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, when it's coming, what songs are part of it, instrumentals, with collaboration with some MCs, or what's going on?
Yeah, well, actually, in like I think in 10-15 days, I'm gonna drop my first album as a beat maker, as a sound producer. The album gonna have 3 tracks with MCs like Stepa Style from Moscow, Blubbermouth, which you
Oh,
really
sick.
know well,
That's what's up.
and couple MCs from Russia. All other tracks on the album gonna be instrumental. Basically, funky breaks, boom bap, and little bit acid jazz that I really love to listen. So
Mm-hmm.
basically this is it. I used to do recordings and sessions with my musicians from our South Bank, which is based in Yalta. So
Mm-hmm.
during the whole year I've been recording live bass, drums, percussions, guitar, saxophone, and
Sick.
I came with like 12 15 beats tracks, which are ready to go.
So where will you upload, or it will be vinyl, right? You said the record.
To be honest with you, it's a hard times to print the
Yeah,
vinyl now.
to press it. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, because of border and stuff, and second thing is it's not really economically. I
Yeah.
don't have like enough reasons, to print the vinyl. But of course, I will do that maybe a little bit later. But the
Yeah.
presentation gonna be digital on our Bandcamp.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can find the link. I think you can post the link. So
Yeah, I will show the links a little bit later, like all your links, so people can find your music and also Yalta Summer Jam videos. So, what did you prepare for the live set tonight?
well, actually, I can play a couple beats from upcoming album, and
Dope.
later I just wanted to play some funky soul music, which is
Mm-hmm.
I really love to listen and dance to. Uh, let me grab just one of the beats I produced.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How you doing, Storm? Chilling?
Oh, I'm loving this.
Okay, dope, dope. I'm happy. This is like
okay.
Ukraine, Slovakia, Germany connection at the moment.
You know exactly.
Plus people watching from all over the world.
Okay, let's check this one.
All right, drop it. Let us know if you hear well. All right.
I sampled some Indian stuff after my trip to Mumbai.
Oh yeah.
I was zigging, and here we go.
All right, let's go. DJ Scream live from Kiev, Ukraine.
Of course, I use this.
Jamming.
You can hear this inside of the track, and some of this too.
Nice. We know this from the jams when you actually perform live while you're DJing. Signature. You can turn it up a little bit, I think.
So yeah, it's like this. Honestly, I've been listening for. I've been listening closely to a track. Uh, of course, you know it. It's Method Man and Busta Rhymes. What's happening?
Okay.
And they sampled Indian sample too. And I was really discovering how they made the whole beat, and maybe that was some kind of reference for me to produce this one. So after I came with couple vinyls from India, that track happened. But we played the whole thing, like the percussions you can hear on the break.
Yeah, fresh.
So yeah, and the bass, we recorded it live. So there's a lot of things we put inside of the side of the sample.
That's what's up. Nice. Connecting the world all the way from India. The percussions in Ukraine.
Let me get another one.
Let's go. Nice, funky.
Oh, I love this one.
Mm-hmm. Fresh.
This is my tribute to the style of music that I really love, called acid jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Sick.
Well, basically, I tried to take a funky break
Mm-hmm.
and mix it with the Afro rhythm in the end. So it starts like funky, and in the end of like 8 counts, it comes like Afro funk.
I see. Nice. Mix it up.
You can hear a live organ,
Mhm.
organ. What else? Saxophone, bass, everything created from zero, like
From scratch.
from scratch.
Fresh.
And there's gonna be a break, of course, a break part coming close to it. This goes out to the DJs.
Shout out to all the DJs holding it down. DJ Scream, straight out of Kiev, Ukraine. B-Boy Storm live in Berlin.
On and on and on.
That's what's up.
Merry-go-round.
So you said that this is the track. This track is also on the new album,
Do you
right?
hear the music well? Isn't it too loud?
Yeah, you can turn it up a little bit more.
I will. With the next beat, right?
Okay. All right. Nice. Better.
This is actually a beat for Blabbermouth. You're gonna
Oh,
hear the
word?
instrumental. Check it.
He will kill it for sure. Nice.
A flute and a trombone.
Dope. Mixing it up.
A guitar.
Mhm.
Back to the beat.
Fresh.
A big shout out to a saxophone player from St. Petersburg, the leader of a group called Master So High. They used to play on V1.
Oh, okay.
It's like a resident band for V1, and this guy is the leader of that band. Like he is a really dope, like a horn saxophone player. And he recorded with his electro saxophone. He recorded the flute, a trombone, and alt saxophone. So we got the whole horns together.
That's what's up. We got already first customer. Shout out to Sideshow Mall. He's ready to buy the album.
That's what's up. Well, actually, I hear pretty well Jurassic 5 on this one. Charlie
Yeah.
and a lot of like.
That's the vibe right there.
Yeah, but we did it with Blabbermouth, and he did really dope. So I can wait to to drop it and maybe shoot a video. I don't know, but at the moment the track is really ready to blow. And of course, I'm gonna post the instrumental version of my beats on that album too.
That's what's up for all the MCs out there and DJs.
Yeah, a lot of parts of the horns. You can see there's another one coming. So the instrumental version gonna be pretty long.
Live performance, DJ Scream.
Close the vibration.
Yalta Summer Jam in the building.
All right.
You have anything left up your sleeve?
Yeah, well, I can play one more. Like the next one I already played it on Sound 15. Probably you heard about that jam. If you didn't, then make a research, because this jam is one of the illest, I think, in Europe.
For sure.
So in the final battle, I played that beat. And it was really like a special moment for me, because in the final we had there was like my student member of my crew, b-boy Kola. He battled in the final with another youngster from Dvish Club, Ralfinho. And they battle against Dan, who used to be my crew member too, like he's my buddy, and Freeze, who one of like my mentors. So that battle was super special for me, and I decided to drop a beat that I just produced. And I think it was kind of hard times, because it has a part without the beat, which is really jazzy, and if you don't know it, like, you might be in trouble. So, but it was fair. I gave him a chance to like improvise a freestyle and see how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna play it, and you will hear like this part without the beat, like the jazzy one. So it's a little bit faster. So yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Sound 15 one more time. Barcelona. Nice.
Very jazzy.
It's super jazz. Yeah,
Love
nice.
it.
I love that funky guitar.
Yeah, it's super dope.
That's a break and percussion.
Fresh. Sick.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. It's what's up, man. Killing it. It's really nice to have your perspective, like how you created it, and so for people also to understand how many different music instruments are part of your music. It's not just like just beats that you produce somewhere, but it's a lot of like a musical instruments involved, and this is really amazing. This is real music. That's what's up.
Yeah, thanks, bro. But actually, I found like during like this like 3 4 years that I produce music with live musicians, I found that like the best beats are coming with less instrumentals. Like if you
Hmm.
can find like rhythm foundation, which is to me drums, bass, and percussion. If you got that's already like
Yeah.
almost enough to make me feel like I want to dance.
Hmm.
So after I have bass, drums, and percussion, like I add instruments very carefully
Yeah.
because
So it's not
uh, yeah,
overload.
so I try to make it like less, but in the end, like guitar, I have like I record a lot of ideas and things together, but in the end when I like mix it, I try to cut as much as possible to make it simple and funky.
Hmm.
And I found also as soon as you got like parts in the music where you like it's like a breath, if music is breathing, is if there's not too much noise,
Hmm.
then it makes me want to dance more than when everything is like
Much at the same time. Yeah, yeah.
you
That's
know
embarrassing.
Yeah, it
We got.
loses a lot of the dynamics. If it's too full, it
Mm,
loses a lot of the dynamics.
hmm.
You're like you don't even know what to dance on
Yeah,
or
what's
like
that's
what to
which
listen to.
song
Yeah.
to dance to? Exactly. Scream, there is a question from Sideshow, if you can hear us.
yeah, what's
He's
up?
asking, should DJs avoid songs with long breakdowns and no drums in battles?
Well, actually, I don't think that we have like some kind of like a rule that DJ should play only breaks during the whole thing.
Hmm.
To me, when I started, I was really looking at DJ Lisi because he is probably my main inspiration in break DJing. So he used to play breaks of the songs, but he also let the melody come in,
Hmm.
and then he was coming back to a break. And I really enjoyed that idea that you're making a contrast. So the way I feel it as a b-boy, as a dancer,
Hmm.
I love when you feel the contrast, which is to feel like the energy of the drum break. You can feel it better if you got the contrast, if it comes out of something, so you can feel the breakdown when it goes like a break part to another break part to another break part. I found that like at the end of the jam, people are get like tired of the music because it's kind of same fast drums. But what I try to do, I try to make a contrast, to mix it, to make people wanna groove, you know, even audience. Like I really care about b-boys for battle, but also I really care about the atmosphere in the room. I really want people enjoy music, not only like moves and battles. I really want them to feel a little bit of party vibe during even big competitions. So uh, usually I create contrast, and also I use for a contrast I use music from 70s, and I mix it with like modern high compressed beats, which also gives a really interesting contrast. Because if music goes funky and then it goes like hardcore and then back to like slow down, like a fat beat. So actually it's really up to DJs, and some DJs do one way, the other DJs do another way, and that gives us a choice.
Diversity.
You can go to a jam, and the reason could be not only judges. The reason could be a DJ who is playing his own way. So my style and my way is contrast, to use different styles of the music and different styles of the track, and make arrangement live. Like I can give an example how I like switch different parts of the song. Let me just find example.
Okay.
Uh, like I can even do it with the hip hop. I can try it with hip hop. For example, we can use uh, I really love producer called DJ Newmark. He's a really dope DJ and beatmaker. DJ Newmark, Uncle New, and he like a year ago he dropped 45 vinyl with Method Man. So, for example, for that one, I use like instrumental, different parts of the instrumental, and then I go to Method Man. So usually
Okay.
it looks like this. Let's just try to freestyle a little bit,
Okay. Sure.
like like this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, during my set, I watch what's happening and decide how should I go.
Of
The way
course.
it goes is
Mm-hmm.
also because what's happening.
Yeah, that's important for sure.
For example, I see a b-boy goes down, and I'm gonna play it with him.
Okay, that's important.
Then we go to Method Man parts.
Okay.
A symbol that now stands for terror in San Francisco. This shit hard, boy. Lord knows where he'll strike next. Yeah, call me a Zodiac killer. Hard shot of liquor to a cognac sipper. Rap spit a flow. I'm the illest slash killer.
Killing it.
Cold. I'm a full of cat pillar.
Dope,
So
dope. It's
what
also
I
good to see
usually do,
it's also good to see the physical hype from the DJ, because when I see the DJ is enjoying his own music, it
yeah,
sends a
bro.
good positive vibes around the room.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to just jump in the dance floor when I play.
That's
So
what's up.
there could be a really good tandem if I would play and I could dance, then it could be a really interesting one. But basically, yeah, I do it the way I feel it.
Hmm.
I do it the way I feel the moment, because it's really important to feel what's happening at the moment. So I really decide like in that second where I switch or should I switch the track.
Hmm.
Uh, of course, I do mistakes and little fucked ups are okay if you freestyle.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, basically I call it play. Like my style is playing. So I play with beats, and b-boys also playing with beats. So it's very interesting, but we connected through music, and we both are playing, and we didn't really had any any time to try how it goes. And
Hmm.
sometimes the magic happens, and the way I play with the beat, b-boy plays with the moves, and something like
Magical
crazy
happens.
happens when, yeah,
Hmm.
when b-boys go on my scratches, on the way I stop or backspin. When we connect it together, like I'm ready to take any risks, to do mixed mistakes, travel for days to catch that moment
To
when
create
we
that
are
moment.
connected through music together. It's just something like which gives me like inspiration to keep on doing this, like really.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, bro. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's gonna happen with Yalta Summer Jam this year?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell us more what's gonna happen with Yalta Summer Jam?
Well,
Here it is.
actually we still plan to do it. um,
Mm-hmm.
our plan at the moment is to bring like 50 to 100 dancers, b-boys in Yalta, like to fly them, or like to find the way to get them to Yalta for vacation. And
Okay.
if we still will not have a chance to get audience like a simple people, then we just gonna get together and do battles. We already created a system for this year called CALLOUT. You can read about it on our Instagram. We describe the system, how we're gonna battle, and probably it's gonna be like a live project. We're gonna like share everything what's happened in Yalta through internet, if we
Mm-hmm.
won't able to have audience. But anyway, I feel that this year we're gonna do like first time ever we're gonna do live streams, and it's gonna be like a workshops live streams. It's gonna be battles
Mm-hmm.
and a couple concerts with the rap artists and funk bands, so people can like
Get the
uh,
vibe.
yeah, it's gonna be like a window to Yalta. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but still we hope that people will have a chance to go. But unfortunately this year we won't be able to get international guests from
Mm-hmm.
Europe and like US, how
Mm-hmm.
we planned it. But I think still we can get together and spend some funky time, shoot some videos, swim in the sea, eat some fruits, and
Mm-hmm.
catch this Yalta vibe and spread it through internet to people who wanted to go but couldn't.
Mm-hmm. So the guys can actually watch more videos and battles with the Yalta official YouTube, which is Yalta Summer Jam Hip Hop Festival. And also, Scream has a new single that just dropped like a few days ago, which is called Call Out. You can check it at South Scream YouTube, right? As far as like Scream's music, you can. I'm gonna post all the links in the video description after the live stream, but you can go to uh, the Bandcamp for Vaxki and DJ Scream, or SoundCloud of Sound DJ Scream. All four links will be under the video description after the live stream. All right, Scream.
Yep.
Last question for you tonight. What are your plans for 2020?
Well, actually, I'm gonna keep on doing things I usually do: practice, creating music, creating new moves, like discover, and I hope I'm gonna come back to travel soon, because actually now it used to be my like prime time for travel. I had gigs till end of September from March, but unfortunately almost all of them are canceled. But I want to use that time, to create music, to back to practice. First in my life, like I start running in the morning. Like I
Nice.
started discovered my body. I started stretching. I never been stretching. I'm really bad in all this stretching thing. But
That's what's up.
father of my wife, he's like a circus artist, and
Artist.
he's really like a specialist in stretching. So what I'm doing like 3 times a week, I feel pain.
How old are
I
you now?
I die to live, So basically, I just keep on doing my thing, and honestly, like this video we just dropped called "Call Out" is this video describes what's happening in my life in Kiev
Mm-hmm.
now, and this is my way
Mm-hmm.
to spend this time. Like I think that people can still like call each other,
Mm-hmm.
find a spot for
For sure.
exchange, like to speak, to discover, to jam. So basically, I think if you're gonna watch that call out video, we just shoot it here in Kiev. You're gonna understand my like course that I give for all hip hop people that need to be inspired.
Mm-hmm. Storm had a question. How old are you?
Uh, 36, I think. 36. 36. I'm 36.
After 20, you don't count. I know. I know the feeling. That's what's up. Well, thank you very much, Scream, for showing us actually explaining how you put the music together. I think this was very dope for the guys to watch.
It was like a little workshop, wasn't it?
Exactly, it was like how to make the correct beat for breaking for the battles. So thank you so much
My pleasure.
for being with us and sharing your knowledge, and we wish you all the best and to your family. Say hello to Anastasia, all your three beautiful kids. You're an amazing person, big inspiration for me. A b-boy, a DJ, a
Same here.
host,
Same
a,
here.
a musician, a father. Is like incredible, one of a kind for real. So thank you
Yes.
so much
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank
with
you
us.
too. I just want to just drop a quick shout out to all Legis Blast team for keeping it live, even through internet, like making it bigger. Like I know that this year, like Legis Blast Miami is probably will be like dropped to the next year, but even the idea of that is gonna happen, it gives me a lot of inspiration to dig beats and stuff. And also, I want to say big thank you to Storm for being inspiration for all my generation and my first crews, because the very first videos that we had on VHC was Storm, like his show, his popping show, and then this crazy popular power move videos. Like this actually how it started in my hood, and thank you again. And I'm looking forward. I'm gonna watch you guys online, and have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you. You were actually the
Thank
guy
you.
who started me thinking about Legis Blast Miami. So thank you, Scream. That's why Legis Blast Miami might happen next year. But anyway, thank you so much. Take care, bro. We're gonna
Peace.
continue. Peace out, bro. We're gonna continue with Storm. Let's see. Let me organize it over here. So, how did you enjoy the Screams? How to make
I
a beat?
loved it. I loved it. I mean, what's funny too is that I could visualize it, especially when he said like, yeah, and then I'm watching what the people are doing, and he was standing there like he really had an audience there and
Mm-hmm.
people that were dancing in front of him. So that whole visualization process of how he sees how things have to happen, of course, this is also what inspires you in making music in the first place. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you hear a sound and you think and you feel like, oh shit, this is gonna work, you already see like you see the dance floor, you see people reacting to it, you know, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what makes you. At the end, this is the main inspiration why you want to do this because you want to see people react to what you just produced.
Yeah,
So,
the,
and
the
this is
connection.
yeah. Yeah,
Connection.
absolutely. And he just showed it to us like that. Yeah, and
That
then
was
I
like a
look.
perfect example,
Yeah.
perfect workshop. Before we're gonna start with the main part of the interview, let's just drop this question that we have for this episode. We came up together with Storm, which is who made the first nylon mesh head spin cap? Submit your answers at thelegis.com/speak up, and you can win this undisputed cap. And also Storm um, told me like he might have his brand Serious spin cap sent to the
Yes.
winner. So, who made the first nylon mesh head spin cap? Send your answers to thelegis.com/speak up. Okay, so let's start with the main part of the interview. Can you just tell us a little bit about your history as far as like how did you get into hip hop? What was your biggest influence at the beginning?
Okay. Well, that's a long time ago. It's a long time
Yeah.
ago. So maybe I have to start a little bit before that even, because you know,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was a kid, you know, probably like with everybody around my generation, everything that came from America was just dope. You know, whether it was they had the best chewing gum, they had the best hamburgers, they had the best music. You know, so many things that were coming from the United States that were just, you know, it was just a dream. So, and there were some friends around my way that were into roller skating and skateboarding. So I also started. It was a time, you know, like late 70s when I started to get into skating, you know, like quad, not inline skating, they didn't exist yet, you know, but like we called them disco rollers. And we started dancing on roller skates. So that's where I first did my yeah, that's where I did my first choreographies basically, because we were always practicing to the same songs, and we
Mm-hmm.
were trying to, you know, do routines, and you know, then each one was coming out, do a little solo and stuff. So, and then we went to roller rings, and we were dancing on skates. Short time after, I have to say, it was this one guy. His name was Amadeus Van Dreyer, and he was a skateboarder, and I think he became third at the German freestyle championships. And no, he became third at the German skateboarding freestyle championship. So he was really good at that time already, and he was skating. He was on his skateboard. He was dancing.
Mm-hmm.
We called it a cure, like back in the days. You know, like just a formation. You know, like from A to Z, you were doing your run, and it was choreographed. So I was doing that too for some time, and then I started breaking. But before that, I was already doing robot, and I was already dancing my whole life. But you know, like, and then when I got into like robot and the backslide, and you know, like what we've seen, like from Jeffrey Daniels and another guy in Germany whose name was Captain Hollywood, and the things that we've seen on TV before Buffalo Gals, before Flashdance was coming out, and so on and on. We imitated it, but then I really got into it when I saw the first clips of Flashdance and Buffalo Gals. That's when I
Mm-hmm.
saw Rocksteady, what they were doing on the ground with that crazy footwork, which I never seen anything like that. And also, you know, like a windmill, so they were rolling around and the feet weren't touching the ground. I was like, what is this? It was amazing. So I really, you know, from one day to another, I decided that's exactly what I want to do. And that was in November 1983. And I remember clearly because 1 week later, we had this school festival,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be able to dance already. I wanted to get in the circles. I saw some guys in the clubs already, you know, and they were good. I was like, okay, we have 1 week. Let's get ready, you know. So after 1 week, we didn't really know how to do much. And of course, the other guys also, they got better. But still, you know, like each one of us had like a little solo with like caterpillar on the
Mm-hmm.
floor and a little backspin and a little belly mill and stuff. You know, we weren't any good. Some of us were trying head spins already, 1.5 rounds maybe two if we were lucky. But
Lucky.
that was the big start. And
Mm-hmm.
since I was practicing every day from that moment on, but every day non-stop, got out of
Mm-hmm.
school, threw my, you know, like threw my backpack in the corner, got to practice, put on the music, just danced all day. You know, like 3 months later, my first crew, we got our first manager. And because we had a manager, and things were getting really big at that time, in the beginning of 1984, it was getting really, really big. So from one moment to another, we had shows. Every week, we had like 4 or 5 shows in different clubs. And I was touring now, besides going to school. Sometimes I got home at 5 o'clock in the morning, and at 7 o'clock I had to get up to get ready to go to school.
How old were you at that time?
I was 14.
14.
Well, 15. 15. I was 14 when I started, and I was 15 when I had the manager.
Wow.
But yeah, very young, very young. And of course, you know, like, when I'm looking at my school diploma and how I ended up, you know, I didn't really have much options when I finished school. So, but from that moment on, I have to say, I didn't really want to do anything else anymore. I had my first manager. I kind of like got the taste, you know, I got the taste of how this professional life could be, and that it actually works to become a professional dancer. Before, I would have never gotten that idea, but through this entire time of 1984, where I was already touring around, and now you got to realize also that when you tour, you see all these other dancers. You see the best dancers around. You know everybody, you get to know everybody. So you see all these guys and you realize what you need to work on. So you get all this inspiration. So in 1984 already, I kind of like knew if I wanted to do this as a profession, I needed to travel. So, and that's when I continued. So from the minute I stopped school, school was finished, I realized, like with Swift Rock and me, we just said, look, no, from now on, nothing's going to hold us back anymore, and we're going to travel. So at first it was just North Germany, then it became all over Germany, then it became Germany and all of its bordering countries. And after that, you know, step by step, we went further and further, and nothing held us back, because also whenever we met people that had the same passion, you know, that felt it from the heart, we always found a way also where we could crash, where we could just, you know, like for accommodation, it was never a problem. You know, there were always people that kind of like, oh, okay, no, you stay with me, everything's going to be all right, as long as you want. Let's hang out, let's practice, let's have fun. And then after, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks, we would have gone back home or something like that. And this is how, kind of like, you know, at first Western Europe, of course, but then as soon as the wall went down and, you know, like Iron Curtain fell, I went to Leipzig, East Germany, made connections there. Then, of course, with Enemy Squad and all them guys, you know, from Hungary, we made the connections there. And yeah, it was like, you know, all of a sudden, the whole of Europe became like a big subway map. Yeah.
Wow.
And we started to hang out together, have fun together, and we kind of like tried to see each other wherever we could.
So, Michelle has a quick question. So, what was first, popping or breaking?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it poppin'. I would call it robot. I would call it robot, because poppin', really, really poppin', I learned very late. I had to go to New York first, so that was 91. Before, I wasn't popping at all. In New York, I found out what a pop is. Before, I had no idea. So when I went to New York and I saw Mr. Wiggles, or first before that, even like Quickstep told me, yeah, but you're not popping. I'm like, what are you trying to say? And then he tried to explain me. You know, I didn't really see it, but then I saw Wiggles and I was like, oh shit, okay, now I know what's going on. And then even further, and then it still took, I would say, years until I really got into the electric boogaloo style with the electric boogaloos, until I really learned what poppin' meant, and I really started to feel that style. So yeah, so I would say I did robot first, then break-in came a few months later. Then, of course, you know, because of Swift Rock and my brother Speedy, because they never really got into poppin', break-in definitely dominated my life for many, many years. So, you know, I really got my name through breaking. But because I had such a big name in breaking, I got in contact with all these originators, you know, the original generation of the electric boogaloos, the original lockers. I got the chance to meet these guys, so I had the chance to ask all these stupid questions that you need to ask in order to proceed into the right direction. And that was a very, very great benefit at that time when there were only VHS and maybe a few
Yeah.
DVDs coming out, like mid to late 90s. Nobody had any information. So I was really grateful to get that information firsthand.
How did you guys form Battle Squad?
That's something that you actually would have to ask SwiftRock. So what happened was the main idea, SwiftRock went to Switzerland and he met Tackett and Franklin, two dancers. Tackett is more or less a graffiti writer. So he met these two guys and then they had the idea to form a crew where from each country, at that time, from each country, we would take like the best 2-3 dancers and we form a crew together, like an all-star crew. We did, it was the all-star crew wasn't even a name at that time. It was just like, it was a great idea. Europe was dancing all together. Anyway, everybody was connected. And so we had Emilio, Maurizio they were coming a little bit later. So first it was Franklin and Tackett from Switzerland, SwiftRock and me from Germany. Then came Nabil and Laurent from France. They were also an actual force at that time. And then Emilio and Maurizio from Italy. And that was the crew. And then, after a few disputes with the Swiss guys, we didn't dance together anymore. But then, like the core team for a little while was Emilio, Maurizio, SwiftRock, and me. And at some point, Marcella was coming also in the crew, and my brother Speedy. And then, I don't know, we lost contact to Emilio and Marcella for some years. So, then I would also say, they were like, we were like a bigger family. There was also this guy, Noel, who was also always with us. A lot of people thought he was in Battle Squad, but he was never really recruited. So we would say that he was in Battle Squad family. But that's basically it. I would say for the longest, it was SwiftRock, Speedy, and myself.
Okay. I know in 1991, the Battle Squad won Battle of the Year, and you guys used the prize money to bought your plane tickets to the US to see how breaking was doing in New York City and in the US. So how was breaking doing back then?
In Europe, in Germany, or all over the world?
No, in the US. When you actually guys got to US in 1991 to see how was breaking doing in the US, like how was actually the situation in the US?
See, SwiftRock went to the US a couple of times before that already, but he didn't meet anybody. He did not meet anybody. And then in 91 at Battle of the Year, there were some graffiti writers that were in the crew with my brother called Fresh Force. And they were from Aschaffenburg, where my brother lives now. And they were coming back from a graffiti trip from New York. And since they had like their crew name on the back, Fresh Force, what are the letters called? The typical lettering, right? No, not Old English, but the Cooper letters.
Okay.
Right? The Cooper lettering, like everybody had it back in the days in New York in the Roxy times. So Quickstep saw them on the street. So he followed them and he asked them, like, look, where are you guys from? Which district?
Yeah, what's up?
Where are you from, uptown? And they were like, no, we're from Germany. He was like, oh man, because I've been looking for guys, like nobody's doing anything anymore. And they were like, no, we're from Germany. But then they also said, hey, listen, but we have some guys in Germany. They were waiting for a message like that there was somebody still practicing and living a b-boy life. And so they came back. They told us. We kind of like squeezed all information out of them at Battle of the Year. And that's when we decided. We said, like, look, now finally that we know there is somebody in New York called Quickstep, let's go. We find him. We didn't even really have a contact or anything. We just knew he's dancing on the street. So that's what happened. And we won Battle of the Year. It still took a little bit longer. I mean, we did some street shows. I remember Maurizio and me, we turned up in some clubs and we made some money there as like some animation, like whatever. And so we made our money, went to New York. Maurizio had the most money, I remember. And so after 2 weeks already, we were running out of every penny we had. And then we had to ask United Street Artists with Clown and Quickstep and everybody if we could dance with them on the street because we couldn't afford the hotel anymore, which is funny because I remember when we met Quickstep first, he was like, yeah, you Europeans, you know, you have so much more money than us and you could travel the world and, you know, like well, us, you know, like we have to stay in New York and this and that. And then a few days later, we had to tell him, hey, quick, listen, we
We're
have
out
no
of
more
money.
He's like, how could you do this? So when are you going back? Yeah, in 5 weeks. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, we
Wow.
can't change the tickets either, you know?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah, but that gave us also a chance, which was really nice, because that gave us a chance. We went to every Avenue festival. We danced on the street every day. So not just that we hung out with Quickstep, Clown, Russ, Meek, and them guys, but every now and then, Quick and Clown, they would point out some guys that were in the audience that were there from, you know, like from the Roxy days. So we
Mhm.
always went there, and we always went to. We asked them like, "Look, are you still dancing? Do you still practice?" They were looking at us. They were like, "No, we went on with our lives." You know, it's like nobody's doing it anymore. We went to clubs with Quickstep. I remember we went to Red Zone Club, and this is what nobody really understands, right? We
Mhm.
went to Red Zone Club, I remember, at Quickstep. When he saw that we were changing, he was like, "What are you guys going to do?" We were like, "We're going to dance." It's like, "Really? You're going to break?" We're like, "Yeah." It's like, "Okay, like good luck." So and when we went down, the DJ stopped the record.
Wow.
The DJ stopped the record. He's like, "Look, no, none of that stuff in here. Forget
Wow.
about it." You know.
Wow.
And
Hey.
Quickstep was just like, "You see, this is what I mean. You know, like nobody's doing that stuff here anymore. People are into house dancing. People are into, you know, like other dance styles. Nobody
Mhm.
was breaking anymore. In other clubs, I remember, you know, there were guys coming into our circle and they would just grab a girl and dance in our circle with the girl. And that was
Yeah.
it. You know,
Mhm.
so it was ridiculous. It was really ridiculous. People were laughing at us. They wanted to kick us out. They
Mhm.
said, stop it, leave it at that. And that's it. So in clubs, we weren't welcome, you know.
Mhm.
There was one club like I wanted to say before, Red Zone Club, where usually like there was a lot of house dances. There were a lot of house dances in Red Zone Club, and that's where it was all right after a while. You know, we started to mimic the house dancers a little bit. They saw that we have respect for what they were doing. So there was this guy Ricochet. He could also do flares and stuff and a little bit of head spin. There was Shanes. We also met him there for the first time. He had some ground moves. So at least we could exchange, and it was getting to that. But
Mhm.
there were no other breakers.
Mhm.
And Quick and us, we try to motivate, like get people out of retirement. We went to Fresh Kids to Brooklyn. We went to Furious Rockers to Coney Island. I caught Kenny's house twice. You know, we really tried to get people back, and it was a hard task. And then Quickstep put a practice together, and we rented on 72nd Street Studios. We rented a studio, and that was like 2 days before we left New
Mhm.
York, and that's when Crazy Legs came, Mr. Wiggles came. uh, really grateful to meet these guys there. I remember first time meeting them. It's like, come on, you know, like I started with Crazy Legs. I had posters on my wall looking at that guy. When I was practicing back then, you know, that was my alter ego. I wanted to be Crazy Legs, you know. And you can
Wow.
still see that. You can still see that in my footwork,
Mhm.
definitely. And you know, so
Influence.
you know, practicing, and years later, you finally meet that guy, you know. So
Wow.
that was one thing. And yeah, at the end of the day, what happened is that through the connection that we made there and then, and the dedication that we had, and also explaining what was going on in Europe at the time already, how hip hop and breaking was culturally manifested within the
Mhm.
culture that we had, not just the club culture, but like everything, youth culture and everything. Everybody identified themselves with hip hop, and it was really culturally on a level where in France they were doing, you know, like they were doing theater shows already. Not really hip hop shows or something, but you could see like theater companies like Black Blanc Beurre. They were doing professional shows with breakers, poppers, lockers,
Mhm.
hip hop dancers, and so on and on. And in Germany, we had hip hop jams every freaking weekend. So it didn't even take, like, we went in 91, it was May 91, we went back in September 91, and then in February 92, Gary Bachman from Frankfurt, he invited Fable, Legs, and Mr. Wiggles to Frankfurt, and then they could see with their own eyes what was happening. And right away they were saying, like, look, this really reminds us of Roxy. So when they went back to New York, they started organizing things, and they said everywhere they went, they said, like, look, this can't happen. This is our cultural heritage. What is going on? Like, why are you dissing us when you know, like, if you diss your past, like, how are you going to go into the future? And this is when they started Get Original Dance Company, which I then became part of in late 92. I was really happy because Swift and me, we went to New York again. Actually, we wanted to buy clothes and open up a mail order and stuff like that. And then Wiggles and Quickstep, they were asking me if I wanted to stay. And also my girlfriend and me, we just broke up. So I was like, yeah, cool, I stay. So I started dancing with them in Get Original, and that just gave me like a whole different initiation within the hip hop world and understanding where the culture was coming from. So much, knowledge that was given to me by Fable. I was living most of the time. I was living with Fable. Given to me by Wiggles. I was practicing popping with him. Always went up to the Bronx to like learn my lessons from Adesela, also another guy who I learned locking and popping from, and of course Quickstep, who like we were like main buddies. And still around that time, since we didn't have much theater shows at that time, we mainly danced on the street with Breeze team, J-Day and Nice, mainly two guys. J-Day had mad turtles, incredible. Man, it's like even like giving a handshake to J-Day was hardcore because every day he was doing his turtles. You know what I'm talking about? So those were the days.
Can you briefly talk about Float, because you told me like you guys were roommates, and just bring some memories back with Float. Rest in peace.
Yes. So when I started dancing with Get Original, I felt kind of lonely because there was only Quickstep. All this time there was only Quickstep. I believe that Float at that time, he was living in Boston. And then around 94, he was coming back. And that's when I also, like, from 93 to 95, I was always going back and forth. Germany, New York, Germany, New York, Germany, New York. Also, from 93 to 95, I had a TV show on a German TV channel called Viva. I had a hip-hop show called Freestyle that I was hosting. So, you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember you with a microphone.
Oh, wow.
I was a little kid.
Hey, all these, all the episodes are still online. It's funny for me if I watch it now, I see it, and it was really freestyle. So that was really cool about it. And we wanted to be the forum for all the hip hoppers in Germany. So whoever had a hip hop jam, we held up the flyer. We said, like, listen, hip hop jam here. We have a crew that we want to introduce. Look, come here, good freestylers, whatever, like. So they had grabbed the mic and it did a little something. So for us, that was the main thing why we were doing it, right? And the people loved it for that. So I felt that I had that position. Somebody needed to do that. Anyway, so at that time, I was going back and forth, Germany, New York, and I was living at Fable's house. What I didn't know is that when Float was coming back to New York, he was into hiding. The FBI was looking for him. For what reasons, I'm not saying anything, but they were looking for him. He was supposed to go to jail. And so he was staying with us. He was staying with us in Harlem. He was staying with us at Fable's house. So we were roommates. And so he wasn't dancing much, but if he was dancing, he was getting busy. And I was just glad, that we got along so well that every now and then he saw me and he was like, how frustrating it was for me to just hang out, practice in Harlem. And so he was like, oh, Storm, you want to go party? Let's go. And every time we went to party, I started breaking, so he couldn't hold back either. And also, we went out with Chino, Brian, Sammy, whole incredible breakers. But what I didn't know, he always had to be careful where he was going. I had no idea. Trust me, I didn't know anything. Also, I had a video camera. Every now and then I wanted to do interviews. I did interviews with Method Man, with the Fugees, with, like for Viva.
Yeah,
So I
sick.
had a video camera, and every now and then I filmed us practicing. And Float never wanted to be filmed. Of
Mm,
course, it made sense, you know. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be on
sure.
camera. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he so camera shy? Right? Doesn't matter. Well, there are a few moments that I will never forget. I remember this one time I was practicing in Faber's living room, and I was practicing on my elbow spins. Speedy and me, we kind of like he started elbow spins first. He
Mhm.
heard from me about Float and how he was doing his elbow spins. So Speedy started practicing and he got quite good. And I was like, okay, if I come back from New York, like let's battle a little bit, like a little challenge. And so Float came home, saw me doing elbow spins, and then he just said to me, "Oh, Storm, like right now you're looking at your elbow, but then you arch your back, and like you don't have that tension, and it's not going so good. So why don't you try him like this? And then at some moment you can grab your hand, go further up on your elbow, you have even more tension, and you drill." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, and I was thinking like, "Can you show me?" He just came in from the outside. He had like boots on, like heavy jacket. He took his jacket off. He went down. He pushed a couple of times. And while he was pushing, he was talking. He was like, "Yeah, you see, well, I haven't done it in a while." And I was
Wow.
already like, I can't believe it. And then you see, okay, yeah, and then you hold your elbow like this, and he was spinning. And then he grabbed it, and he went like, whoa, into a fast drill. And then he dropped and fell down. He's like, oh, he said, oh shit, I hurt my back now. I shouldn't have done it. At least I should have done a warm up. And I was just sitting down, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, the quality the guy had. Even, he retired for like 3 or 4 years at least already. Changed weight, like gained weight and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then still, the quality he had, also with his hollow backs and the halos and the flow that he had with the stuff that he did, it was amazing to see. And then, but above all the dancing, he's just the nicest guy that you could think of.
Mhm.
I'm near crying right now, because,
Mhm.
man, this dude, he meant so much to me. You don't even know. The
Mhm.
time that I lived in New York, where, like staying in Harlem. I remember, another day where Rockefeller and Quickstep, they invited me to Rockefeller's
Mhm.
parents in the Bronx for Christmas. I was lonely. I was really lonely. I had, people in Get Rich Fable needed to work and so on and on. But I wanted to break. I wanted to hang out. I wanted to have fun. But there wasn't really anybody. But from the minute I got in contact with IB, with Incredible Breakers, yeah, it was on. These guys, and then we went like every week. What's funny is like none of us really had money either, right? So we couldn't get into the expensive clubs. So most of the times either we had like tickets already, and even if you had a ticket, you had to stand in line. And sometimes the bouncers, depending on how you were dressed, just said no. It's like, sorry, you can have all the tickets in the world, you're not getting in the club. None of us had dress shoes. We only had sneakers, you
Yeah.
know? It's like sometimes they were looking at us, they were like, well, you guys wear sneakers, you have tickets. You must be somebody, otherwise you wouldn't have gotten these tickets. So we got in, we partied, we danced, all good. Anyway, we always went to this place. It was called Dick Shay's Barefoot Ballroom. So you had to take your sneakers off and your shoes. You had to take your sneakers, your shoes off, and your socks to
Mhm.
be able to jam, which was good anyway. So basically, if you wanted to do flares or certain moves, you really had to be careful to not scrape with your feet, to not get any burns and stuff.
Mhm.
So we
Sure.
really had fun. We had fun. And also, at those places, a lot of capoeirista were going there. So we had nice exchanges with capoeirista, I remember. And
Mhm.
some house dancers were there. Like I met Ijo there. I met just a couple of guys. I don't even remember the names. Yeah, but
Mhm.
we had mad fun. And this guy Dick Shay, he was just a hippie. He was an old school hippie who had this dance studio, and on the weekend it was his living room at the same time. So he gave parties in his living room, and then to the music I was playing, people were playing congas, and
Mhm.
like Scream with the tambourine and so on and on. So people were just partying, and it was great. It was
Mhm.
really great. I have no idea what kind of drugs people were taking, around me, in the clubs. It was pretty wild how people reacted and stuff. But hey, I was with incredible breakers. We had mad fun. Oh yeah, another story I needed to tell you. So the first time when Flo took me up to Fordham Road to the Bronx, where Sam was living at that time, I had no idea who Sam was. And he was just saying, yeah, my boy Sam, it's his birthday. It was around Christmas, a little bit later than Christmas, I think. And yeah, let's go. I was like, is it okay if I'm coming? It's a birthday party. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. So we went up there. And then I remember we weren't even there for half an hour. And then Sammy, he blew his speakers. Because for his birthday party, he got another amp. And he blew
Wow.
his speakers. He's like, oh no, now I got to get some other speakers. And so he left. And then when he came back, we were already dancing like crazy. Chino was on the ground. He was messing around with windmills and everything. He had this mad flow, even though he was already pretty big. And then when Sammy came back, he had this leather coat on with like a leather belt, I remember. And I started up rocking against Float. And Flo was like, oh, no, 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 I'm tired. Here, do some up rock against Sammy. And I had no idea. So Sam is coming in. And then he started up rocking against me. And, I'm telling you honestly, after the second time going down, like trying to do some burns, after the second time going down, I forgot everything I wanted to do. And I just wanted to watch. Because this guy, he was like, it was the most authentic I've ever seen in my life. So just watching this, and I wished I had this photographic memory. I was just like, oh no, what is he doing? I gotta remember, like, what was this? What was that?
So
Everything
many
just,
details. Yeah.
oh man, but it was so great. He totally killed me. He ridiculed me to the point. See, I was only going up and down, I didn't want to stop. I wanted him to continue. I didn't
Yeah.
care what he did to me. I just wanted to see what he was doing. And it was amazing. So, yeah, that was my experience with them. And like I said, besides dancing, what was forged there was like this tight relationship where I could really say, like finally I found some other friends in New York that I can hang out with, where I felt that I had a human connection, a real friendship connection.
That's what's up. Rest in peace, Flows. We'll remember.
Yeah.
We have a quick, shout out for you. Michel Aronson Oliveira, I guess from Brazil, he's saying, I started breaking because of the Storm DVD. So I want to say thanks to him.
Which DVD? The Footwork Fundamentals?
I guess Footwork Fundamental, because his next question is, what did you do to take the Spider-Man footworks to the next level? What did it take you? Yeah, what did it take you to take Spider-Man footworks to the next level?
See, I don't even know what he calls Spider-Man footwork now, because the Spider-Man footwork is something that I would refer to what Mr. Wiggles is doing. And I didn't touch that. I didn't touch that. Yeah, but if he thinks that I took it to the next level, then I see it as a compliment. I see it as a compliment. Well, what did I do? Period. About my dance? Put it like that, I really love to practice. I really like my whole life is like putting on the music, starting to get down and repeating movements over and over and over again and not getting enough of it. Even if other people think it's the most boring thing on the planet, I think I will always find small little details. See, we all know how it goes. Even like when you learn how to write or whatever. You see, this is how you learn a craft. Through repetition, you get this economy of gesture, where in the beginning it's really hard to do, and you need to concentrate on every part of the movement, on every little aspect, no matter what movement it is, whether you write, whether you paint, whether you play an instrument, or like a body instrument, like when you dance. It's always the same thing. So, and only after a while, it's going to get easier. And like I said, you have that economy of gesture, so that now you can concentrate on certain parts of the movement where you can get a lot more into detail. So there's certain moves, like even like let's say the six step. It's never finished. You can always go down,
Recreate.
find out new things, And sometimes it blows your mind how you could do something for 10 years and still you see somebody, oh no, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean?
So, exactly.
Or a windmill. I remember also, with the barrels, we called them barrels. Poe calls them magnets. Like when you do windmills and you like just spin around your head,
Yeah.
right? And before I met Quickstep, we were mainly jumping, like the Kuriakis. We were mainly jumping, and only when I saw Quickstep, I saw that it was possible. And then I realized that when we were doing the windmills, we were doing in a horizontal position, rather flat. That's why it was always very easy for me to go from windmills into belly mills, for instance, because I was already in that horizontal. And then when I saw Quickstep, I realized that his upper body was much higher. So now I realized, okay, if I get more into a vertical position, then it would also be easier to go from a vertical position into the head spins because I'm already here. My
Right.
windmills are already much higher, so everything made sense. But you see, a lot of times you just need to see that in order to get into it. And just because you know how to do windmills doesn't mean that you can do those windmills too. So, the Kuriakis and the no matter what you would call it, barrels or magnets, it's not the same thing. It's not the same technique. There's a big difference. If you do the Kuriakis, you would have to jump on your head, in order to do it. And when you do the barrels, there's an easy transition where you glide on your head and everything is smooth and easy. So, and it's that thing, like where I'm sure there's other people. It's like when I saw Jamal from
Yeah.
Predators. I remember when I saw him, it was at Burn Battle School. I realized I got to rework on my windmills. And that was when 2005 or something like
Yeah,
that.
super nice form.
And I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, this is how beautiful those windmills can be. And I realized I got to get back to working on my windmills. And I really love practicing, not just for the sake of getting good, but to develop this inner, deep, nice feeling of accomplishing something. And that gives me peace. It gives me freedom. It gives me something where I dwell in music and it's uplifting, So when I do that, and even if I just do it for an hour a day, it makes my day and I'm at peace.
So it's basically getting lost in the music. Because we got a question from Julio. I'm 32 years old. How can I improve my dance skills without hurting myself? So basically, you just answered the question too.
But that's, without hurting myself.
Well,
Who am I to answer that? I got hurt so many times. I mean, you got to realize that if no pain, no gain. You know how that saying is going, right? No pain, no gain. And I think I'm a very bad example when it comes to not hurting yourself. I had some major injuries, and most of the injuries I had because I was overdoing it. I didn't know when to rest. I didn't know when to stop. And a lot of times, when it's getting heated at parties or even at battles, battles is the worst. Who wants to lose, right? Nobody wants to lose. Like when it comes to a battle, like your whole reputation is on the line. So there were a lot of battles where I was getting hurt. I didn't regret it, but then still, sometimes it would have been better if I would have taken just one gear further down. It wasn't necessary, but all the fun that we had, it's all worth it, I think. But just try to find the moment when you should stop. But when it's heated in a battle, you are usually you will risk things that you usually wouldn't do anymore if you would have had a clear mind. But you're in it, adrenaline is
moment.
going, and all of a sudden, bah, and you sprain your leg, or like you pop a disc or whatever. These things happen. Yeah, well, I mean, another thing is if you get hurt, how to cure yourself. And
I'll come back.
for a long time, it's funny. Scream was talking about it too.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
he never really stretched back in the days, and now he got like really into stretching. Stretching, if you stretch the right way, it really helps. I always found it very boring, but then when I got deeper into popping, all these isolated movements really helped me, especially, you know, with my spine. It really helped me to get back on track and to isolate certain muscles and find out how anatomically my entire body works best and how to cure myself from certain injuries that I got from breaking. So isolated moves really work out. Then, yeah, don't overdo it. And if you can, try to get into different aspects of the dance. Sometimes, you know, like when I had an injury, I was just practicing slowly, like really, really slowly on certain transitions or on certain moves where I knew if I would have gone fast, you know, like I would have had that injury for years probably. So I would just like gone really slow, practice to some slow jazz music. There was one song that Swift Rock and me we were always practicing to, which was Marvin Gaye, T Plays It Cool. It's like a nice, you know, like it has that drum loop, you know, that goes over and over again. It's almost hypnotic. And then you have, you know, like a saxophone playing. It's a nice instrumental, really cool. It was sampled with a touch of jazz from Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff back in the days. You know, so we were dancing to that for, I remember, for months, just because, you know, it calmed our minds and we would work on things in a slower way. And in those days, we weren't getting hurt. Plus, we always had to, you know, like another thing is Crazy from Crazy Force. He always stressed on that, how important it is to actually feel a move. Don't just try to pull stunts, but always go slow and try to secure the moves. Secure the moves. Quick step is really like that too. Quick step is a very, very careful dancer, and that's one of the reasons why Quick step, until this day, he can still go out. He can still go out and he can still do all the moves that he was doing 20 years ago. Yeah? And it's really necessary to feel these moves, feel your footwork, have it touch. And maybe it's good sometimes to live in an apartment with tenants under you because you have to be quiet. When you look at Maurizio as well, for Maurizio always stresses in his workshops that you have to dance as quiet as possible. Because really, if you do your moves as quiet as possible, that's when you master them. That's when you realize that you've got it down. So, and then there's a lot of less chances that you get hurt.
Yeah, for real. That's a good advice. You told me you are working on 2 books at the moment. You're writing 2 books. Can you tell us what they're about and how is the process going?
Well, how the process is going. All right. Now, first off, I've been working on one book, which I call Each One Teach One. It's exactly what this is about. This is my method. This is my method, my experience that I want to put in perspective and that I want to give everybody on the entire planet to, you know, that could get the book. I don't have the chance to go everywhere and to teach people about this culture, about the dances, and very much about let's call them the values of the dance, right? And I don't know if I should go into the second book already or if I should continue here, because, you know, like, of course they intertwined, right?
Right.
But see, I always looked at life, things in general, in a holistic way. And when you look things in a holistic way, then a lot of times, you know, trinities form. When you see trinities form, it's because the way our mind is structured and the way we remember things best. That's why we put phone numbers into 3s. That's why we have the how do you say, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost. That's why we have the mind, the body, and the soul. That's why we have, and so on and on. You know, I don't have to continue, but it always comes in 3s, right? It's even like for memory, you know, memory technicians also, they always put numbers into 3s. Anyway, and for me, you know, the mind, body, and soul was always like, somehow, you know, there was a club back then in '84 in Lübeck in North Germany. It was called Mind, Body, and Soul. So it got me like deeper into that already. Then I got into Kung Fu, and also there, Mind, Body, and Soul, you know, with Taoism and so on and on. And then I was thinking, well, right now with the YouTube generation, most people, they only think about the body. They look at the videos and they think about, what can I do with my body? Isn't that incredible? But what they miss is the soul, the connection to the music, the connection to, like the music, to be grounded. So, like that, like you're working physically with something, that drags you down, You're working against that resistance, which is called gravity, right? Like all these things. But it makes you feel so good if you master going against that and play with it, because that's what we basically do. We play with that resistance. We play with gravity. We play with balance, which is the most important part about this dance. And we play with that timing of the music. So the music gives us that feeling. And now the next thing is the soul, where, man, back in the days, if we went to clubs, I could have done step touch all night. I didn't care how my moves were looking. I was just doing step touch with my girl, dancing in front of her, and just feeling the music, feeling the vibe. And then everybody else on the dance floor was also feeling the music. So you have that sociability, this whole social context. And this is what I miss the most about these parties, right? And this is why the cipher is so important. Because when you look at the cipher, people are playing in a social environment, and one is going in, and you need to develop that appreciation for what the person is doing. So that soulful connection has to be there. When nowadays, most people, if they want to learn moves, they go on YouTube, they check one move, which is most of the time a compromise of another person that might have 20, 30 versions. But in that moment, he's done only this one version, and it fitted perfectly to the music at that particular time. So now the person that wants to learn the move is taking a move out of context, doesn't really know how the move came about and what made the move to come into existence, right? So I'm not saying that you have to learn everything that pre-existed before that move. But see, as long as you find the connection with the mind, body, and soul, you get an idea of the holistic, all the holistic elements, and then you get more of an understanding. And at the end of the day, you won't need these YouTube videos anymore, because if you're not inspired by one thing, you might be inspired by the other, and so on and on. And this gives you the food that you actually need in order to continue for the rest of your life in a very, very happy way. So basically, this is my method, and this is what book one is about. And each one teach one. I don't know if people know, but the saying or the motto, each one teach one, comes from back in the days, from slavery already. This is where it's coming from, and the term was only basically re-invoked in the Bronx in the days where you kind of like had the same thing, that people were not showing up when they had to show up. There was no governmental support, and so on and on. People were just left alone. So now they realized, look, if we are left alone, we need to teach everybody. Each one has to teach everybody. Each one reach one, teach one, basically, in order to rebuild the Bronx, in order to get things right. Yeah, and a lot of people think these days that they need to wait for this one particular master that teaches them how to dance. And I think that's wrong. If you want to learn a language, whether it's a body language or a spoken language or anything, the best thing is you just grab the next person. You are motivated now to learn the language. Grab the next person. I want to learn Czech. I would speak to you. I would, I would come to the next person that speaks Czech. I would go to the cafes. I would go to where people meet. I would go to learn that language. I don't need a Czech teacher, right? I don't need the best professor. I don't need to wait for that person. Start with the first vocab. If you want to learn French, find out what's the French vocab in your language already, and it's fine. That's something to start with, and then from there you go. If I imagine, I started in 1983. If I would have waited until the best or the absolute master to start learning, how to break or how to pop or anything, I would have waited forever. Forever. Yeah. It's much more about the motivation. And this is it. This is why I call the book Each One Teach One, because I want people to realize it's not about the teacher. It's really about motivating yourself and finding your way into it. And once you find that motivation, because this is something nobody can give to you. Motivation has to come from yourself. Then things are going to be fine, and that's it. So that was book one. Should I continue about book two? Because I saw
sure.
there was another question.
Yeah, there was a question. If you don't think the mind, body, and soul, the mind and soul part is missing a lot in like these days in general.
It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, like I wish that there were more parties. Also, the events that I'm invited to, a lot of times, you got to realize I'm sitting down there most of the times, and at least the dancers, they get to dance, right? I'm sitting there and I'm judging most of the time. So now when the job is done, I want to dance. And at most of these events now, there's no more after party. It's over.
No more parties.
So sometimes I have a little after party in my room, and some people are coming up, or
Yeah,
you know,
just vibe out.
yeah, or in the foyer of the club, or even in the hotel lobby, or something. You know, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. And this is what I live for. I really miss vibing with the people that before. You know, also, you know, like it's a de-stressor. You know, like if you're sitting there, people can't imagine how much adrenaline, how much cortisol you develop in there when you're sitting there. Oh my God, okay, how am I going to deal with this? All right, this just happened. I've never seen a move like that. Now, calm down. You know, you need to look at it from a you know, like from the right perspective.
Yeah.
So it's a stressful job. Judging is not easy. So now you sit there 4 or 5 hours in that chair. After that, you want to be physical. You want to get down. You want to do something. So I really miss that. So, you know, I have my little dance floor here in my living room. I dance here for now. I can't wait until it's getting, you know, a little bit better outside, like not just about Corona, but also about the weather. So people can meet up in the parks and we can jam there. But for now, yeah, I dance with my wife and my son here sometimes, and it's nice and it's good fun. So yeah, the second book is a book about judging. I'm judging, like, let me see. My first competition I judged in '84 actually, but you know, like I won't count that. But Thomas Hergenröther from Battle of the Year, he asked me in the early years already what we're going to do about judging Battle of the Year, because it was an unbearable situation. That, you know, if we think about that, technically, our dances, they got so good. It's amazing what people are doing these days. But judging is still on the same level as way back in the days.
Basically,
You know? And I understand the point of view where people are thinking in a meritocratical way, which means that, you know, like when you're coming from a craft and you do that craft very well, that means that you have knowledge about the craft. And this is how it is in breaking and all the other dance forms too. So up until now, the best thing that people can do is that they invite people that really know what to do, how to dance, what the dance is about, to judge. But a lot of times also, sometimes these guys are lucky. They just have a natural way of how they develop their style, a very natural way, without much thinking. They got incredible. So without much thinking, they think, okay, I know what's up. But then they blend out all these other ways of what's possible to do, and so on and on. So their mindset is like, you know, they have a pair of blinkers on. They don't look left and right. They think everything they do is right. And what all the parties, like for instance, the Trivium is what we developed for the Youth Olympic Games.
You're cutting off a little bit.
I'm showing all the different paths and all the different books. Really, you see me, MG?
Yeah, I can. You cut off for a little bit.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Okay, maybe
I don't know if it's
I shouldn't.
the website traffic.
Maybe I shouldn't move anymore. Okay, good. So it's yeah, yeah. The book is just opening up the whole space of judging. So it's about choreography contests. It is about battles. It is about freestyle dancing. It is about like battle of the year matrix. You know, and I also list up like different biases that people have, that everybody should look out for before they even think about dancing. You know, like where your mindset goes. Like if you have only practiced power moves through your and in your entire life, then of course you have a power move bias. If you only done footwork, then you have a footwork bias. I always say is maybe I should stop it here about that book. Yeah. Also, what I want people to understand is okay. Now we have the Youth Olympics. Olympics are coming up, 2024. We have huge brands like Red Bull, Monster, and so on sponsoring our events. At the same time, they also take advantage. They also take advantage of us because we do not really, we did not really organize ourselves to the point where we have one governing body. I say that it's good to have one governing body, but it would be nice if we had 5-6 governing bodies, and these governing bodies would get along and they would have coherence in some certain ways. That would be nice. So that we have competition, healthy competition going on. That's my dream. So now with the Youth Olympics, with Red Bull and with Monster, just as an example, some people blame Red Bull to distort the culture because they have the biggest competition. But on the other hand, we need to blame ourselves that we are not looking out for other what can we say, for other ecosystems that we could tap into that could also help us grow. Like, you know, Red Bull and Monster, they're just soft drink companies. I mean, there's so much over. Like, what about Puma? What about Adidas, for instance? You know, what about some, I don't know, let's just say Apple or Microsoft? I don't know. You know, has somebody ever approached them? Maybe they have interest. Nobody knows what's in for them. So that's one thing. But more or less, now there was a possibility. I spoke once. Let's just say, I just spoke once to a father who was really loaded with money, who wanted to sponsor UK championships. He was like, look, my son is a dancer. I think, you know, there's a future in it, and I want them, you know, I want this dance to grow. So he had a big firm, and he wanted to put a lot of money up. I don't even say much. And then he was asking me, since you're always judging, what are the judging criteria? And I had to tell him, well, basically, people are pointing to the left and the right, and each judge has his own criteria. And it's like, wait a second. So you're meaning to tell me that nobody knows what these judges are looking for? Oh, well, basically we know, but we cannot make sure. There's no system that records what the judges are actually thinking. So no, I can't tell you. And he's like, look, you know what? That's the biggest joke I've ever heard. It's like, so basically, I can put my money down, and then the money that I put down, if the judges are right, or if the judges are like, okay, look, let's have it. You know what I mean? Nobody can detect anything like that. So the sponsorship didn't happen. This was for a reason. This was in 2005 or 2004. This is yeah.
Can you try to reconnect, because the sound is breaking down, like it's on and off. You can hear me well?
So you want me to switch it off, and you want me to switch on and come back in?
Yeah. Try to restart your connection with the app. Just come in and out, because that usually helps. All right, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. In the meantime, the question for today is, who created the first nylon mesh? spin cap, you can probably find answer at Storm's clothing brand series. You can win the undisputed cap and series spin cap. So yeah, once again, who is the creator of the nylon mesh spin cap? All right, let's see if this is gonna be better. Okay, let's try now. I think somebody was downloading something in your blog or something. Hopefully it's gonna get better. No? Sorry guys. A little patience over here. A lot of traffic in Berlin at the moment, I guess. Also, let us know if you have any suggestion for upcoming guests. Let's see. Is it getting better? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well.
Better. I hope.
I hope so. Now you froze.
Okay, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Is it okay? I hear you well.
Try. Yeah, I don't know. I can still hear you breaking down the sound. You can hear me well or not?
Okay. Yes. All positive.
Okay, we can try. So you were talking about the judges' criteria, that the father was complaining that there's actually no specific criteria for judging.
Yeah, and so he stopped. He said there's no use of sponsoring an event where he does not know whether the money is going to the real winner, because nobody knows whether the judges were bribed, whether they were just taking a quick guess, or whether they really knew what they were doing. And I had to agree. So that was the moment when I also realized something really needed to be done. Do you hear me?
Well, it's still breaking up. I don't know if the internet connection is slower on your side or what's going on. It's probably prime time in Berlin.
Yeah.
Try now.
Maybe I should run to all my neighbors. Yes.
What about if you try the mobile data, because maybe it's faster than Wi-Fi in your home. I don't know if you can turn it on as on your 4G.
Oh, I think that's gonna be worse. I can already tell you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In my city, 4G is better on my phone. I'm actually on 4G.
Yeah.
Using this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We can try to do this, but let's try to continue. Because it was working pretty good for like an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if my son or somebody. Sean, ich möchte nicht, dass du online bist, ne?
Once again, sorry guys for the technical difficulties.
Dann mach es aus. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yeah. I cannot see you though.
Yeah, no, even my family members. Can you now? Can you see me?
Okay, I can see you, but it's a little bit frozen. I don't know what's going on.
Let me connect again. Let me reconnect.
Okay.
I reconnect.
Okay. Yeah, sorry guys for the little problem with the internet. Yeah, let us know what guests would you like to see for the upcoming episodes? This is number 8, so we're gonna have number 9 next week, and let's see if this is gonna be better. Better? I hope so. Can you hear me?
What do you say? Yes, I hear you very good.
You're still your picture's
I hear you
frozen.
good.
I'm good.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Man, it's crazy.
Oh man. But can you hear me? Can we talk?
Well, it's on and off. It's like cutting off. Try now.
Should we try? Let's try and continue.
Yeah, let's try. I mean,
Yes.
worst case we can try maybe Instagram Live, but I don't know if it's gonna be better with the internet. But yeah, so we were talking about these judging criteria.
Yeah. So basically, what I thought was the most important thing is that we develop a recorder that records what the judges are thinking.
Yeah, it's still bad.
So,
Can you try to
now,
turn off
instead of
the video just to have audio? I don't know if you if it's possible for you.
how do I do that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There should be like a video emoji, and you should just turn it off. But I don't know if it's gonna help. Sorry, guys. Busy times. Okay, let's see. Try to say something.
Yes, 1, 2, 3. Is
Yeah,
it still bad?
It's still cutting off. Should we try the Instagram Live? But I don't know if it's gonna be any better if the internet is slow.
So let's try.
Okay. Or maybe you can restart your Wi-Fi connection. Some
Never
people
had
are
that
suggesting.
before.
No.
Okay, give me a minute. I try. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, no. Thank
I
you.
restart the Wi-Fi. So be back in a minute.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. Let us know if you still have some question. Hopefully, we can come back with Storm. We are also on Spotify and Anchor. You can find all the episodes also on the YouTube. And as I said, like we are open for any suggestions. We're definitely trying to gonna get soon Ken Swift, DJ Plash from Poland. Got a lot of people on the list, but if you have any preference, let us know. For those who are tuning in, we're waiting for Storm. He has a little issue with the internet connection in Berlin. Once again, the question for today is who made the first nylon mesh head spin cap? Actually, we could use this moment to show you guys a little bit about Storm's clothing brands. Actually, I think this is a good idea to do it. 1 second. Right here. Right here. So yeah, this is Storm brand called Sirius. Speedfrog is actually helping him with distribution. Here's a shop. It's at Sirius brand.com. He got shirts, spin caps, mock necks, spin gear, special deal sales, about us. You can check a little bit more behind the scene. Shout out the designer, Swift Rock Distribution Custom Care. The Boating interview, story of the spin cap. Maybe you can find the right answer there for the question. Story of the Mach neck, which is really interesting. Links, contacts. The brand is based out of Germany, so it ships out of Germany. What else can tell you? Okay, so there are different departments around the world. Series USA, Japan, Finland, Germany. It's a collection all over the world. So yeah, this is a serious brand. Maybe Storm can tell us a little bit more about it if he comes back. Okay, got some suggestion. Ken Swift for sure. Yeah, Mr. Wiggles. Yeah. Also, for those who don't know about the update for Outbreak Europe, we're still trying to do it in September, October in Slovakia because the situation is getting much better over here. And depending on which borders will be open, which countries will be open, we can have this for this Outbreak Europe for these countries. But also depends if there is hopefully there's not going to be a second wave. If it's gonna be bad, we will do online edition of Outbreak Europe or the Legis Blast. With Miami, we're still deciding. Most likely, we will not do the physical edition, which might not be possible in the US this year. But we definitely want to do Legis Blast Miami next year, physical edition, if everything is well. And we're aiming for the online edition this year for Miami. There could be two online edition, worst case scenario, or we just gonna create one huge online edition if there is no physical edition of Outbreak Europe. So there's still a lot of alternatives. We're still waiting for more news, and we'll see what's gonna happen. Let us know if you have any questions. Hopefully, Storm can come back and restart his connection. Yeah. Shout out to Screen. Connection is bad on interesting topic. At least we know how Storm sound without the tune. Now it's fine. Yeah. Shout out to Scream. He definitely killed it today. If you didn't see it, go back after the live stream and rewind it. And Scream was talking about his production, his new album coming up with his new single CALLOUT, which is online. At the moment, you can go to South Scream YouTube channel and watch the single. Also, Yalta Summer Jam is happening this year, but probably only for the Russian community or Ukrainian community, and there will be a live stream probably for the first time for the world. Auto-tune for real. But yeah, much love to Scream. Also, shout out to Sound 15 from Barcelona. Really dope jam. I've never been. I gotta go, but I heard so many good things. So shout out to the guys from out there. Okay, Storm is back. Let's see. It's gonna be better.
I just saw on my television. I just saw that it was also. I booted the router, and my television also said that there's a bad internet connection. So
okay. Well, we're back. Hopefully, it's gonna
last.
It's gonna
Let
be
me
good.
talk. Let me talk real quick.
Yeah, let's go. Continue. Judging criteria. Let's go.
Yeah. So for the judging criteria, at first, of course, like with talking about my book, like I also there. I'm not laying down a plan and saying these are the criteria that everybody should look for. That would be a mistake. I think that everybody needs to understand that what made our dances big is creativity. So with creativity means that everything is flux. Everything is subject to change. And if somebody is going to come and they lay down certain criteria saying, this is exactly what you need to be doing, that are the standards we're looking for, the dance is going to become so rigor that it's going to become boring. And nobody wants that. So for me, it's important that the whole world understands that there is a plan. that there is a plan by certain people because they are not open-minded enough to see that actually it's our strength in hip-hop that we value the individual, that we value subjectivity, that we value creativity. Yes, there are so many things that we can't get along about, like there's so, like you might have one opinion, I might have another. Hey, but we respect each other for that. And it's
Exactly.
nice to have people like that, right? And bigger organizations, they don't understand that. They think, oh, but you guys don't get along. You hip hoppers, you're just a bunch of anarchists or something like that, And they don't understand it's our strength. This is our strength, and this is why we go so far. Because every time somebody makes a rule and they say this is exactly how it goes, 1 month later you see somebody who's breaking that rule, and you go like, "Wow!" But did you see that guy? And it's over. Yeah, and this is what we want. This is what we want. The only reason why we are still here is because this whole thing got reinvented so many times before. Yeah.
And so when do you expect these two books be released?
Oh, see, wow. So I thought that actually with Corona and everything and with the shutdown that I was going to be able to finish both of them by August. Now I started doing tutorial videos here 2 months ago. And I thought it was just the biggest chance, to do that. I could still write when I'm traveling. I could still write wherever I am with my computer. That's fine. So for the writings, I will take my time. It has to be done right. But at the same time, I think before certain companies and Olympia and so on is taking over, and certain people look at opportunities that maybe are traps, that the book should be out just so that they get an understanding of where we are with judging and why it is necessary to sink your mind deeper into it before we are circumcising our dances with rules that are not good for the dance.
Okay. But so
Well, I hope that I'm going to be finished by, let's say, October.
okay. Well,
Yeah, at least with the first draft and everything, so I could give it to, what's funny is the judging book, I write it in English. The my method, the Each One Teach One book, I write it in German. It's a bit confusing for me too. So, but I think the judge's book should come out first.
okay.
Yeah, because I'm gonna give it away to London to a lecturer who's very well spoken and outspoken, and who's going to check for my language and everything. And then after that, it could go to print. So
And how will you distribute it? Like where people can actually get it later?
oh, I have no idea yet.
Okay.
I think it's going to be self-financed, and then people could get it on Amazon or on the next jam. And Legends Blast. I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down. I have a table full of
Definitely
books.
down to support. Definitely down to support. But what do you think, back to judging, as far as the Olympics, what needs to be done so the judging is understood by the public? Like, so do you think like a Trivium is the solution for that judging, especially for public to understand, like, what's going on, why this guy won, not the other guy?
Oof. I mean, for the general public, it will always be difficult to understand what this dance is about. Yeah. But for the general dancer and for the people that are getting into it, I think also when you look at how the judges are analyzing the dance, it should help every artist, it should help every dancer to form him or herself into the direction also where they know, okay, so this is what's required, so this is what I need to do. So basically, the more you grow into it and the more you understand about it, the better it will be for you as an artist as well. So it will take time.
Yeah.
It will definitely take time. I mean, I'm thinking of, we schooled judges for the Youth Olympics, and it has taken about 2 months in total. Not that they were working on it every day, but like there were some. When you look at guys like Moy, they are wow. Moy is incredible. He's probably him, Moy and Joey from London actually. Moy and Joey, they work in the system the best, more than anybody else. They have that understanding. They know what's up. Joey is a big girl from London, and she just did the testings with us when we were working everything out, and we were in London at DJ Renegade's house, and he invited Soul Mavericks and a couple of other guys just to test the system, and then we found out that Joey, that B girl, she was just so on point that everybody's like, "Why? How did you do this?" So, which was incredible, right? So that was that. Well, there's still the appreciation factor, which is really important, and I will never say that the system, the way we have it right now, that is perfect. It's still like we still need to test it a lot, and I would prefer to have more people speaking against me, or not against me, but speaking up and tell me about the flaws of the system, if they know any, than that they would just agree, well, yeah, the system is dope and it works well, because it's not. I know that it's not. You know, every time somebody's speaking to me about the system and is telling me about things, I write things down. I write some notes down, because I'm pretty much afraid of developing a bias, of a confirmation bias, where I'm thinking like, oh, 80% of my knowledge goes into that, and you don't know that much, and if you only say this argument, there's so many things that I could say against it. That would be wrong. So I rather write things down. So with filling it up and finding out more things that are not really coherent, I realize I need to work it over. So Pee-wee, Dominic, who's programming the system, and me, we're in constant contact, and we definitely need to do testing, more and more testing, to find out where there are flaws, how we can make things easier, how we could make things more, because also it's not really intuitive, right? So now we have, like, especially the Trivium. See, okay, there's the threefold and there's the Trivium. The threefold has three criteria, basically, right? It's physical quality, interpretative quality, and artistic quality. So those are the three. Now, and then we split each criterion, we split it in half, and we made artistic quality, for instance, we made it into creativity and personality. We put the body, when we speak of mind, body, and soul, when we took,
Technique and variety.
Technique and variety is the body. So you see, we split it in half so that we have 6 criteria now. But now if you have 6 criteria and you have 6 faders that you have to move, then of course, like you have this cockpit in front of you, and you kind of like, you have the feeling as if you missed the battle, because now you have to sort out in your mind which fader you need to take in order to go into the right direction. And it takes training. It takes training, and it takes touch. It's the same thing like if you play PSP or if you play Xbox or whatever. If you have one of these things in your hand, this for the first time, you're lost. You're absolutely lost. And it's the same thing. After a month, you know what to do.
No, for sure.
So this is one thing. So I wish that, of course, like we could have like a physical, not just an iPad where you have like, where you need to look on the screen, but you have some physical touch, like a controller type thing where you can fade things over, and it clicks in on certain whatever, something like this. So that would be one thing, but also the entire values on how we value things. Right now, so some people, like I said, Moy, the way he values is he's very careful, and it's just, he's just very precise, and it amazes me. So I'm really happy to have like that, him as an example that works with the system so well. So of course I wish that pretty soon everybody could do it.
Like that.
But it also shows that he put a lot of effort into it. He put a lot of effort into it.
He's a hard-working guy for sure.
Yeah.
That's what he created so far. Okay, switch it up a little bit. How do you keep yourself in shape? Any special tips on practices, workouts, diet? Because,
Ooh.
like you've been killing it, like you're a battle of gods. Like I was watching and I was like, what is this guy eating? Like, what's going on? How is he practicing? Like super shape. Like, what's the secret? What's the recipe? Can you hear me?
This is on your end now, but you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
So
Yeah,
I go for longevity. Longevity
yeah.
is more important than anything. So I just want to get as old as I can.
Okay.
Yeah. So some people they just burn out. They
Mm-hmm.
just try to live as intensive as possible
Yeah.
within the next 5 minutes. No, I'm trying to be very controlled about my life. So I drink a lot of water. I'm trying to eat as healthy as I can. Lots of greens, lots of fish, lots of omega-3. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's basically it. I fast like 3 or 4 days a month, at least. So that's what I do, and that's how I've been living for the past almost 2 years now. So I'm also,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know how many people know the ketogenic diet. I'm not on a strict ketogenic diet, but on an adapted ketogenic diet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's working perfectly for us breakers because of the inflammation levels.
Mm-hmm.
If you eat a lot of carbs, if you eat a lot of sugars, you have problems with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that. So I remember until 2 years ago, I always had problems with my elbow, with my knee, with my neck, with my left shoulder, with my 90 shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing anymore. It's all gone. It's all gone. Usually now I feel something for like 1 or 2 days after practice, but other than that, there's no more joint pain or anything. Even
Wow,
like muscle pain is less
that's
because
amazing.
inflammation is down. So it's really beneficial, I think.
I was actually thinking about this keto diet, so I'll probably try it
I
because I
can't hear
heard
you.
I read a book about it too. So
I
it's
can't hear
everywhere.
you, MG.
Can you hear me? No?
Let's reconnect.
Okay.
I reconnect, yeah?
Okay, okay, okay. Hey. Let us know if you can hear me, and hopefully when Stone will reconnect, hopefully it's gonna work. Sorry guys for all these troubles. Okay, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Now now it's not switched up. You can you, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so I was just saying, like, I read a little bit about this keto diet, so I'm definitely want to try it after your recommendation. Like, it seems like
Yeah.
it's
Well, it takes a little while until you're getting
yeah.
adjusted to the fat, right? So usually
Hmm.
people have a problem for the first 1 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks. You get like maybe a little headache or something, and that's because you're so used to the sugar and the carbs, right? So they really want that. I mean, we all know that if you eat a lot of sugar, it's the same receptors as
Hmm.
cocaine, heroin, and all those bad drugs. So of course your body will react to that. But after that, it's going brilliantly. And sometimes, like I'm not hungry for 2 days, just like that. I don't need to eat for 2 days. So your whole metabolism is working different, and
Hmm.
I think it's amazing. I feel like I have a lot more power. I might not have that explosive strength anymore that I used to have, like maybe 4 or 5 years anymore, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, I've just done a kettlebell session today again, the 20-minute
Hmm.
kettlebell session with 16,
Nice.
16 kilograms, and I'm
Wow.
going through it like nothing.
Wow.
You
I'm
know,
doing 12 kilograms kettlebell and I'm dying.
yeah,
Okay, so it's working. The diet is working, I guess.
yeah.
Amazing. Okay, now I have a quick 10 questions. All of the guests gotta go through the same questions, so it's just one word answer. So let's see what you got. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. What does success mean to you? Just one word.
Success is a process.
Process. Okay. What does hip hop mean to you?
Oh, that's my lifestyle.
Lifestyle. What is your favorite song to get down to?
Still, T plays it cool, Marvin Gaye.
Okay, okay, so okay, dope. Because we're creating a playlist for the listeners
Yeah.
or the audience eventually. What is your favorite place on earth?
Charlottenburg, Berlin.
Okay. What is your favorite breaking move?
Headspins.
Okay. What breaking move you cannot do or
Air
could not
flares.
do?
Air
Air flares.
flares.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food, salmon.
Salmon. Okay. What is your favorite? Who is your favorite music artist of all times?
That's a difficult one. Of all times. Would it be boring if I James Brown? I think so many people would say James Brown, right? No, but James is the man. The deeper I go, the more I think it's James.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next one. Who is your favorite upcoming B-boy or B-girl at the moment?
How can I forget his name? Am I stupid?
Where's he from?
From the US.
Yes.
Stupid. He was just like he was in the competition, semifinals, against Gravity. In Monster Team as well. Am I crazy now?
Breakthrough Worldwide. I
You know what I'm
wasn't.
talking about?
Yeah,
Man,
I just watched the final. I didn't see the semifinal.
you didn't. Oh man, he won Battle of the Year, the solos.
When? Last year?
He's good friends of Gravity as well.
Oh,
And
Zeko.
Moy, of course. Zeko, of course.
Zeko. Miami 305. Future Force Crew.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Zeko is amazing. That
Yeah.
guy, man. It's like I told him in his face. I said, "Listen, you're the future. You know. Please be careful what you're doing. We need you. You know, because this guy
Yeah.
is this. You know, as skinny as he is, but man,
Yeah.
the
I,
moves
I,
he's pulling out.
yeah, I was there when he was his first jam when he was 14 in West
Oh,
Palm Beach, and he was battling Mini Boy in the semifinal in a tiebreaker, and he beat him, and then he won the final battle. So that was his
oh,
first jam he ever won. So
wow.
it was a nice
Yeah.
memory.
We were hanging out at Venice Beach 2 years ago as well. Yeah, it's not last year, the year before, in 2018. It was with Gravity. We were in Venice Beach, and we just had such a good time. And this guy is like,
Next
you know,
level.
he's so young. He's still so pure. You know what I mean? I love it. When I see him move, I start dreaming again. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Okay, the last question of the quick 10 is what will you be doing in 5 years and where?
What I would be doing in 5 years? Well, somehow. Okay. Wow. Okay. With just one sentence, right?
Uh,
In 5 years,
yeah, just one thing where you'll be doing
yeah.
in one place.
One place. That's funny to ask a nomad like me.
Exactly, that's why I'm
I'm not
asking.
sedentary at all, but somehow I'm hoping that. See, my wife is from Guadeloupe, from
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbeans, and
Oh,
I really love the Caribbeans. And if I had the chance, just before Corona, just before the lockdown, we wanted to leave there. We wanted to go there to enjoy life, right?
mm-hmm.
During the month of lockdown. But then in France, it got hit even harder. So if we would have been on that island in our holiday apartment, it would have been terrible. Not be able to even go on the beach. So, but like in 5 years, my son is old enough that he could basically also live by himself already. So maybe in 5 years, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
into that direction. There's also a dance company there. A friend of mine, Michael, maybe there's a possibility how we could collab or something like that. So I hope that I'm going to be able to kind of like like back then, between New York and Berlin, that I'm going to do that between Berlin and Guadeloupe. So
Wow.
yeah, that would be the place where I would really like to be, and maybe I open up a little coffee shop there. So if you want to visit me,
Oh, for sure. For sure. My girl is from Brazil, so I might stop on the way. Perfect. So that was pretty fast. While you were like fixing the connection, I was talking about Serious Brand. I showed the website. Is there anything you want to add as far as like your Serious Brand, what it is, what it represents?
what can I say? I mean, hey, we have our headspin caps, which is our main seller, and we have our mock necks. The mock necks are dope as well, of course, and we have our knee pads, which is selling the best. And I want to show you something. Hold on a second. We have a
Okay.
new headspin cap.
All
We've got a
right.
bucket hat now.
Oh,
Where's the
words.
front? Yeah. We got a bucket hat. It looks like that now. It's not really in the stores yet.
Wow.
Yeah, and you could lift it up, of course, and then it looks. That's how Quickstep would wear it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And world premiere of the Buckethead from Serious
it's really
Brand.
cool. So we have that one.
Super
Then
fresh.
everybody knows the normal 5-panel caps, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When
And
I
the
saw it,
5-panel cap is like whoever finds out or whoever knows who did those first headspin caps, right, is going to win the 5-panel cap.
okay, dope, dope, guys. Yeah, so yeah, send us the answer at the Legit website. We're fixing the answer box. But yeah, when I saw the 5-panel clip, I was like, "What is this? Who did that? It's crazy!" And then I tried it at practice. I got one, and I was like, "Wow, this thing is next level.
Yeah.
It's working." So
Yeah, no, it's really, I'm really happy about this. But we got a great designer. I mean, you spoke to Patrick before.
yeah. I met him
He's-
at the trade show in
Yeah,
Berlin.
he's working for a brand here in Berlin called Irie Daily. He's
Yeah.
been designing for them for the past decade, and he's doing a great job. At first, Swift Rock just wanted to have some mock necks. He was asking me, Storm, what do you think? Like maybe we should come up with like maybe somebody who could produce mock necks. And then I went to Patrick, and he said, well, I wanted to start a brand for a long time already. So why don't we just do that together? And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. And he's doing an amazing job. I mean, also, if you look at the mock necks, most people probably don't even realize, but the cuffs and, like when you kind of like, when you rip on a normal mock neck, then it folds like it, and it looks like an old telephone book on the bottom, and sometimes on the sleeves as well. On our mock necks, the way he made them is like that doesn't happen.
I
And
see.
that's just one thing that is really important, and that's really great.
It's
So
unique.
no, he's a really good designer. Also with the bucket hats, the way he solved the size problem on the side with some Velcro and so on and on. That's also out of headspin mesh. So he's really, really good. I'm really proud to work together with him, and he always blows our mind with the ideas that he has and what's possible.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I met him in Berlin at the trade show, and he told me like he's a designer for your brand. I was like, what? Like, what a small world. Like, I know.
Yeah, that's funny. And also, I
Yeah.
mean, the knee pads. That's another thing that people don't know. The knee pads they're from orthopedic standards, German orthopedic standards. So they're really good with the gel pad. It's not like other knee pads that just last like 2 or 3 hours and then you can throw them away. Those are like really good knee pads. And like there's a couple of jiu-jitsu guys here in Berlin. They swear they're the best knee pads they ever had. So
Wow.
when you hear that, and when it doesn't come from a locker or from a friend, when friends are saying these things, you go like, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes from these jiu-jitsu guys and they keep ordering, then it's a whole different story. So that really makes me happy. Yeah. So serious is another thing. Like where I'm thinking that, like I just wish that our brand could become bigger, so that break in and hip hop. Like in hip hop, it would rather more becomes a self-sustaining industry, because then it would make all of us more independent.
Exactly.
So, and that's what's missing. But yeah, there's no other things right now. You know, like Dizzy was trying to, or he's
Maybe
still
sure.
trying to make his shoes and his sneakers and stuff. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah,
so there are people trying, but it's
yeah.
hard to,
It takes the support of the dancers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're talking about this a couple of weeks ago with Mano. Like he has his own brand,
yeah, exactly.
Mano Leisure, and this is really important. Like my mentor Max One, he was always talking about this.
Yeah,
Like we need to support each other and create our own self-sustained industry, and like we don't really have to be dependent on others. We can just live off supporting each other. Because when you buy something from Sirius, like Sirius supports you back. The same with the Legends, the same with the Mano, same with Funny and Furious. So like this is very important thing to realize. So let's see. Hopefully, in the future, more and more people will realize.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, also, when people don't realize how much time goes into this empiric work of finding out what's the best, what is the best headspin caps, how many years, how, you really got to be an architect.
Yeah, it's a research and development.
Yeah, always trial and error all the time.
Trial and error all the time.
And I really wish that more people would appreciate it and they would realize that it's, like
Hmm.
it's necessary. It's necessary for all of us to become independent and to, like have a say in this more or less distorting part of the culture where, when these big brands are taking over,
Hmm.
they will be the ones that say what's hip hop and what's not, and it can't
Hmm.
be. We
Yeah,
already,
exactly.
we already trapped with all the gangster rap and all that stuff, that is commercialized. So, like if that's the next step and other people are gonna jump on it, then we definitely have a problem.
Yeah.
So let's hope that this is developing further. I'm really glad that you guys have the legits. I'm
Yeah.
happy with Armory, and I'm, like also Moy also has his T-shirts and so on and on. And
Yeah.
whenever I can, I sport it and let people know, that this is like our family gear, if you know what I
Exactly.
mean.
Gotta support each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
For you,
Cool,
I got
guys.
last couple questions. Because you're probably traveling more than me. So you're one of the most like busiest dancers traveling around the world. Like, how do you manage being always on the road? Obviously now you're not, but like, uh, when the like before Corona, like you were always on the road. Like, how do you handle it? Like,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
have family too. Like,
yeah.
how do you
No,
balance
see,
that?
see, that's the difficult part. I
Mm.
was traveling all my life. But see, when you are traveling and you're staying in one place for 2, 3 weeks or maybe a month, then that's cool and easy, because
Hmm.
you get adjusted and that's
Hmm.
all easy. But the problem is, and this is what I really found out now, if you
Hmm.
always just travel over the weekend and then you come back home, like let's say you travel to Hong Kong on Friday and on Monday you travel back, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday until Friday, you need to rest. There's nothing you can do really. You're totally knackered. It's not easy. It's absolutely
Hmm.
not easy. So jet lag is a bitch. It's
Straight up.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And now just because of Corona, I realized what I've been missing.
Mm.
Really, I'm home. I feel relaxed. It's good. Like it's, oh man, you don't even know. And
Hmm.
I don't want to go back to it. I
Hmm.
definitely, and I'm not going back to that extreme. Definitely
Hmm.
not. It was too much. Already
Hmm.
for the past year or so, I was saying that only 3 or 4 times, once per season, I said I wanted to leave the continent. No
Hmm.
more than that, because I already
Hmm.
felt like it was going nuts.
Hmm.
Man, I remember from 2017 to 2018, December, January, was the worst month in my life when I think about how I felt.
Hmm.
Traveling wise, people will go like, "Oh man, how do you do that? You see so much of the world."
Yeah.
I remember I was in first. I was in. I remember it was India, from at Freeze. I went from Freeze, which was a hardcore event because I judged 3 days in a
Yeah.
row, every day 12 hours. So from India, I went back home. From home, I went to Battle of the Year. From Battle of the Year, which was in France.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was in Essen at that time. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter, But then from there, I remember I had to go to China. Then from China, I had to go back home. Then at the end of the month of December, I had to go. It was crazy.
Yeah, nonstop.
And then to Brazil, and then back, and then to freestyle session, and undisputed. I remember, and going back. And I remember just after freestyle session, I went home. I had to go home for 1 day, and I had to go to Hong Kong. And I told my wife, "Listen, I don't think I'm going to come back."
Jet lag over jet lag over jet lag over jet lag.
It's like
Wow.
if you travel like that, there's a moment during the day where sometimes you just have a minute where you sit down, and then it feels like somebody hit you
Yeah,
with a hammer on the head. You
exactly. I
get
know the
so
feeling.
tired, you want to crash, right? But you can't. It's madness, and I don't ever want to experience that feeling
Yeah.
again. So that was the moment where I said, "Hey, listen, no. Remember what I said? I want to get as old as possible."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then stress. Stress is the biggest factor in dying young, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't want to have that no more. And this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I filmed so many tutorials now, and why I will film another bunch of tutorials here at the house,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to start an online course where people just log in, they have an abonnement, and where they can, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
watch 100 videos, and
Mm-hmm.
the 100 videos will just be the first course, and then after that I
Wow.
will continue during the next years, just also to have guests that
Mm-hmm.
come up with rudiments that people can learn, and so on and on. So I will see how that goes, but
Great.
it's a different start, and it's going in a direction of where I went with my footwork fundamentals already.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So this way you can cut off traveling a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So that
So
like
it works
people
out.
can, yeah, and I will do weekends here in Berlin where if people want to get formed
Mm-hmm.
specifically, like want to, I don't know, want to have a turn up or something like that, then it's easy to organize a weekend here in Berlin, have 30, 40 students come over, and then like they get some heavy hardcore workshops here in Berlin over a
Mm-hmm.
weekend instead of me traveling to all these distant places.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. Do you have any final message for the guys who are watching the live stream from all over the world? Any uplifting words during the situation?
Yeah, well, mm,
'Cause
enjoy the situation. Every situation in life has something joyful, I think. This is how I see it, and there's nobody to blame for anything. You can always just blame yourself about how you think about things, and make the best of it. Try to make the best of it. Try to take things with humor. I think, especially situations like that, I noticed also, from people, that I've been in contact with that were in wars and so on, and that were suffering in their life, is that one of the best tools is to deal with it with humor. Be sarcastic about it, be cynical, do something, but laugh about it, because, man, if at the end of the day, we could always find something that we could nag on, but as long as it's
Exactly.
not really serious. And then also, there's people that have like serious injuries, serious diseases and stuff, and those are still the people. Sometimes, you look at them and they're the most positive people, right? And
Exactly.
then, and
Exactly.
and this is where we should like kind of like take the direction and see them and understand that how much we should appreciate these moments right now as well, where we might be short on money, where we might be short in business and stuff. And it's scary, of course, but hey, life goes on. Everything slowed down, which is kind of cool,
Yeah.
and we should kind of like look into our inner selves and find out what we can do in the situations to maybe try to get away from all these artificial needs that we created. So this is my big message. Doesn't really have that much to do with dancing, but then again it does.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, amazing. Like this is definitely a time to slow down and focus on things and for me, it was also like create a lot of positive outcomes, the situation. So I'm blessed for this. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and so your information. Like we could easily talk like 10 hours with you because you have so many stories to share. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation and sharing your stories with us. And we wish you all the best and to your family, and can't wait for the book and read all the stories and all the experiences
Great.
you experience.
Yes, no, it was
So,
all my pleasure. All my pleasure. This is like it's ripping me out of this life here at home. And even though I've never really been a fan of doing things online like this, I think that for this moment, like for what we have, of course, I like to share things live and talk to people in restaurants and clubs and I don't know, parking lot and wherever at the after jam. But yeah, it's not happening right now. And like this, we at least, we have something that we can hold on to. And I'm glad that I had the positive, this positive moment that we could
yeah,
share together. And
for real. And share the vibes with people from all
yes,
over the world.
that's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah. So once again, thank you so much. We'll be in touch, and hopefully see you in person somewhere
Yes,
soon,
hope so.
sometime.
Soonich.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. See you
All
next
right.
week, guys. Thursday night. We're live again.
Stay distanced and sanitized.
Yeah, exactly. Wash
Okay,
your
bye
hands.
bye.
All right. Bye bye. Take care, guys. Bye.
Speak up.